What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more hard trance slash acid trance. I would say it's more of a hard trance tune, but there's a prominent acid, like rhythmic riff. It's not like the main feature of the track. Eventually this melody comes in, but during most of the track, the prominent 303 riff is significant enough to what's going on that I would say you could call it acid trance. I think most people, like I said, would call it hard trance. Regardless, we're listening to a tune by the Adventist. The Adventist primarily is Christian Scheck, though it makes a point that on this release, Holger Popp, or Poppe, it's Poppe, also has credit for writing and producing the tune. I have another record by the Adventist, which I think is just Christian Scheck. That's on Mindworks. It's really incredible. It's called the Destination EP. It's like, there's 3 tracks, Destination, Tel Aviv, and I forget the name of the third one. All 3 are fantastic, like acid trance tunes, and those are like very prominently acid trance. Like the acid is the main feature in all 3. So I'm a fan of his work, Christian Scheck, but it's not all that prolific, at least under the name The Adventist. There's 2 main releases. I think there might be 1 or 2 other tracks that like were part of like compilations or something, but bottom line, it's a limited output, but I really enjoy it. Oh, in fact, both of these are on Mindworks. I thought this was on a different label, but this tune called Infinite, which came out in 1998, the Destination EP is 1996, again, acid music in 96. But yeah, this is 1998. This tune, I first heard it, there's a DJ from the SoCal, or at least during the mid to late 90s, he was playing parties in the LA, like Southern California scene, named DJ Huggy, real name Hector Merida. Basically, I heard one of his early mixes, I became a fan of his set, so I saw him at some different parties. Eventually, one of my friends got in touch with him. She wanted to know what track he had played at a party, but she didn't know the name of it, and because she didn't know the name, he was like, I have a lot of records, I'm not sure. But I knew the tune, and I didn't know it by name, but I kind of remembered the melody, so I sort of like hummed it for him, like over the phone, because he'd been talking to my friend. And he was like, oh, okay, I know what that is, put it on. She was like, yeah, that's the one. So the next time I saw him at a party, he gave me a mixtape. Now I already had a Huggy mixtape it was like Smaller Tribe, so it was like him and Danny Cosmo. That's a cool mix, but he gave me this other tape. Both sides were him, and this was trance tracks from like 96, 97, and 98, because I think he gave it to me in 98. And this track by the Adventist, Infinite, was one of the tunes on there. But here's the thing, there wasn't a track list. I think it was like a beta version of the tape, because it wasn't like official like artwork. It was like, a recorded tape, and you'd put like a label on it. So like DJ Huggy, I think that's all it said. So bottom line, this is a tune I heard around 98, but it took me years to figure out what it was called, and I'll tell you why. And it's funny, because it's called Infinite. And there's a prominent vocal where it's like says it kind of in this muffle like infinite, and it keeps kind of like turning in on itself. Well, yeah, like now that I know what the tune's called, I can hear it clearly. But when I first heard the tape, and then I eventually heard him play it at a party like a year later, and also there was another DJ Eal, I think I heard him play it. Bottom line, like whether it was on the tape or at a party, I just couldn't quite make out what I was saying. It was like, isn't it? In it? Is that what he's saying? And it was like, basically I was dancing around what the actual title was, but it took me like a decade, and I was on Discogs one time, and Discogs, you go on rabbit holes. You like, oh, here's an artist I didn't really know about. Oh, that's a cool tune. What else has he done? Okay, this and that. Oh, and then he was on this label. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like those tunes. What's this label all about? Okay, I'll check some other artists. Oh, wait, the Adventist, Infinite. Okay, I'll click on that, and then and started playing, and it was like, oh my God, it's that tune that I never knew the name of. And it like in that moment, it was like, oh, obviously he's saying Infinite. But again, for whatever reason, my teenage brain just couldn't quite make out the words, so it took me like a decade after first hearing it to finally get it on vinyl through Discogs. But here we go. This is Christian Scheck, the Adventist. Oh, and Holger Popp, or Poppy, the Adventist, and the tune is Infinite. There's a few different mixes. The best mix, and the one that is on that Huggy mixtape, in which I heard at least him and maybe one other DJ play back in the day, is called the Gallery Mix. So yeah, this is Infinite by the Adventist, and this is the Gallery Mix that we're going to listen to. If I can get that on there. I assume 45, but if it comes in too fast, I apologize. It's a nice rhythmic acid riff. okay, he says infinite, but come on, man, like, it's garbled, it's muffled. The closest I got, I thought he was saying in it, like in that isn't it, but like the slang British, like in it, man. So I was close, but you're like, bro, it just sounds like infinite. What are you talking about? What I love about this tune, kind of driving, now atmospheric, hard trance. But when it brings in the big melody, not here, brings in some cymbals here. But when it brings in the big melody, it's not a breakdown, it doesn't like, it just rolls it in suddenly, and you're like, oh, what? What the heck? Coming here, you wouldn't know really, like, build up, but they've already done that a few times. Wait, still not. Yeah, still not. More cymbal riding. But so again, the next little build up like that, you wouldn't expect like a dramatic new layer to come in, would you? I was taken by surprise the first time I heard this. The tonal shift in the bass works really well with that electric, like, gliding melody. And then it does this, like, just expands. And all the while, the acid-trance. Now it goes like post-apocalyptic for a second. Survey the devastation. But then it shifts much brighter.
Infinite. Infinite.
I know what you're saying. Of course it sounds like infinite.
Infinite. Infinite. Infinite.
And the Huggy mixtape, I think he mixed out before this drops in. I think he was, kind of a keep it going sort of set. He used like half the track. Yeah, it's like it walks you to the drop. This one, like kick them and all. it runs the melody right to the end, I think. You can hear how like electric and kind of buzzing the melody is more in isolation. If you're mixing out, this is brilliant. Like, you can just hopefully right there is like a major transition in the incoming tune, and it's just perfect. Yeah, shout out to Christian Sheck and Holger Pop. Really cool tune. Like I said, the other two versions, they're very similar. A lot of the, the same elements. It's like a bit different sequencing. But bottom line, I do think that's my favorite version, and I think it's the version that when I did hear it out at parties or on mixtapes, that was the one that people would use. So yeah, big ups to them. Do let me know what you think of the tune. As I said, there's an earlier EP, the Destination EP. All three tunes are different. All three tunes are fantastic acid-trance, so we're going to go through that release. But yeah, do let me know what you think of this. I will see you next time. Peace.